The Las Vegas Raiders are currently 1-3 as I record this video. And the biggest problem with the Las Vegas Raiders is not your brand new head coach in Pete Carroll. It's not your brand new offensive coordinator in Chip Kelly. And it's not your defensive coordinator in Patrick Graham. The coaching staff so far, they've done a very good job. The biggest problem with the Las Vegas Raiders is Geno Smith. Geno Smith, through the first 4 games of the 2025 season, he has 6 passing touchdowns. He has the 8th most passing yards in football, but he has 7 interceptions. That leads the NFL. And he has 2 games this year with 3 interceptions. A game a couple weeks ago against the Los Angeles Chargers and a game yesterday against the Chicago Bears. He is losing the Las Vegas Raiders football games. The Raiders could easily be 2-2 or even 3-1 right now. The only good game that he's had up to this point came in week 1 against the New England Patriots. And even in that matchup, he threw an interception because he tried to force the football to Brock Bowers. Geno Smith is not a young quarterback. This is his 12th year in this league. If you have a rookie or a player that's in year 2, you can deal with these struggles. They are still on a rookie contract. They gave up a mid-round pick to bring in Geno Smith. And on top of that, they gave him a contract extension. Now, last year in Seattle, because I know what a lot of people are going to say, he had 21 passing touchdowns. He had 15 interceptions. You should have saw this coming. That's a different situation. He's never played this terrible underneath Pete Carroll before. Last year was Coach McDonald, the head coach in Seattle, his first year. And he had a lump-sided offense. You had a rookie coordinator in Ryan Grubb, who was pass heavy. For the first 12 weeks, Geno Smith led the league in passing attempts. And his offensive line was beat up on the right side. The run game was non-existent. He's constantly throwing deep shots down the field to DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith-Njigba, and the same with Tyler Lockett. He comes over to the Las Vegas Raiders. Chip Kelly, as a head coach, I'm not a huge fan of. As an offensive mind, he's pretty good. He just won a national championship at The Ohio State University. We've seen him coach before in the NFL. On the offensive end, he does a solid job. Receivers are getting open underneath. The problem with Geno Smith, he's fell in love with just throwing the football to just one player on one read, and that's it. He's fell in love with throwing the football to Brock Bowers, and I don't blame him. Brock Bowers is the best wide receiving target that you have at the tight end position. Then it's Jacoby Myers. At the position, Jacoby Myers is easily the best wide receiver, but the best receiving target is Brock Bowers. So you put Brock Bowers in roll coverage. You go out there and you have a safety over the top and a linebacker underneath. He's essentially in double coverage. And Geno Smith is trying to force a football to him. Other situations, he realized Brock Bowers, hey, he's not going to be open here. Let's go to Jacoby Myers. You have a cornerback sitting right on top of him. These are rookie mistakes by Geno Smith. He helped revitalize his career in Seattle because of Pete Carroll. They moved off of Russell Wilson and was a seamless transition. And that first year in Seattle without Russell Wilson, they made the NFL playoffs. Yes, they lost in the first round, but Geno Smith was a solid quarterback option to have. He stabilized their organization. That's all the Raiders are asking him to do. They're not asking him to go out there and play on the same level of a Patrick Mahomes, of a Justin Herbert, or a Bo Nix. They're not asking him to be the face of the franchise. They're asking him to go out there, take what the defense gives you, and open up the run game, and just to have that threat there. So then we can work off a play action with Ashton Jeanty. That's it. And the offensive line is the issue here. It's not all on Geno Smith. Outside of Colton Miller and Jackson Powers-Johnson, you have a lot of bad offensive linemen on this roster. The run game was spectacular yesterday against the Chicago Bears, but we've seen Ashton Jeanty struggle up to this point. And hopefully this can be a breakout game for him, and it can help him gain momentum for the rest of the season. Because against the Patriots, he averaged 2 yards a carry, 1 rushing touchdown. 19 carries, 38 rushing yards. Against the Chargers, he only had 11 carries, 43 rushing yards, averaged 4 yards a carry. This is also another effect that Geno Smith is having on the run game. You can't run your way back into a matchup because you're running time off the clock. So if you're constantly throwing interceptions over and over again, you have to throw yourself back into the game. So against the Chargers, the game plan was dead when Geno Smith threw the second interception, and now you're down in that matchup. And yet against the Chargers, you only lost 20-9. Imagine if this defense was to go out there and take a step back with Patrick Graham, because the defense has been the strongest unit with the Raiders over the last few years since they moved off of Derek Carr. Their defense was a strong suit with Jimmy Garoppolo. The defense has been a strong suit when they've had Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew starting games. The offense has been lacking. And we all expected for Geno Smith to be better players than Jimmy Garoppolo, the same with Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. He's just as bad as those players right now through the first 4 games. And this can change, but it's very disheartening because the schedule is only going to get tougher in this division for the Raiders when you face teams like Kansas City and the Denver Broncos down the line. But against the Chargers, if Geno just goes out there and he takes what the defense gives him, you're not trying to push the football deep down the field. You have a better chance to go out there and to win that matchup. Against the Washington Commanders, it was bad all around. Funny enough, this is the only game this season to where Geno Smith did not have an interception in this matchup. But the rest of the games, he's been terrible. And against the Washington Commanders, you were down big in this game. You can't run the football consistently with Ashton Jeanty. But against the Chicago Bears, he had 138 rushing yards, 6.6 yards a carry, 1 rushing touchdown. And he did have a fumble in this matchup, but it's not all on Ashton Jeanty. The center read the play wrong. He goes over to the left. He was supposed to go straight up the middle of the field. He didn't. Now Ashton Jeanty gets blindsided. The ball pops out. It is a bad turnover for a player. Don't get me wrong. If I'm going to get on Geno Smith and his turnovers, I have to get on Ashton Jeanty. But that situation is a bit different. Turnovers suck in general, but especially when you're paying a quarterback to go out there and to be the guy within the next 2 to 3 years that can help stabilize your organization. But even if you take that fumble away, Ashton Jeanty was the best player on the offensive end yesterday. And then you have Geno Smith, the 3 interceptions against the Bears. It came down to a block field goal attempt. You lost this matchup against the Bears 25-24. Give the Bears a lot of credit. They stayed in the game all the way through. But that is how dominant the defense has been with the Raiders. If Geno cannot play better, it'll be time to bench him in favor of someone like Aiden O'Connell or Kenny Pickett. And right now, that guy would be Kenny Pickett. And I know that's crazy to say because Kenny Pickett was not a good starting quarterback with the Steelers. He was not a good starting quarterback with the Eagles. But at this point in time, you're just asking for a quarterback to go out there and make the right read and not to turn the football over. Max Crosby in the first quarter made Caleb Williams' life a living hell. The man had an interception in this matchup. He was constantly stopping the run over and over again. You can see the Bears go out there and basically try to triple team him, and he was still getting through over and over again. They started to run the football away from him. And shout out to Tyree Wilson because he has stepped up as a player. Hasn't lived up to that first round hype just yet. He was a former first round pick for the ones that don't know that came out of Texas Tech, but he's starting to come alive. And you have Malcolm Kuntz. Malcolm Kuntz missed all of last season dealing with a knee injury, but you have a solid front 7. With the linebackers behind these pass rushers. And the secondary, I like the players that they have on the back end. I'm not worried about this defense over time because we've seen this defense give Patrick Mahomes a lot of problems. The same with Justin Herbert. Yes, they gave up some big plays Monday Night Football, but you held them to 20 points when your quarterback is through 3 interceptions in that matchup. You had 4 turnovers yesterday and you still lost by 1 point against the Bears. So many miscues. And for whatever reason, special teams play is very crucial right now. It's a lot of block kicks, a lot of kick returns, a lot of punt returns going on in the NFL. It's high flying action. So they need to take care of that unit on special teams. But defensively, they are there. They have a very strong defense. I'm not saying that they have this playoff ready defense, but you have one of the best edge rushers in the game in Max Crosby, and you're constantly wasting his prime over and over again by having bad coaches, by having bad quarterback play. In this case right here, I don't think that Pete Carroll's a bad coach. I still think that Pete Carroll has juice left in the tank as a head coach in this league. The biggest problem with the Raiders is the quarterback position, and it has been that way for many years now. And for the Raider fans, and it was some of them, not all, that complained about Derek Carr, statistically, and even going back and just watching film, the eye test, he has been the best quarterbacks that the Raiders have had in over a decade. Jimmy Garoppolo was terrible. Aiden O'Connell's not going to be the guy long term. Neither is Kenny Pickett. It seems like Geno Smith is going to come in and be that guy even after this season right now. They have been able to find a consistent player at that quarterback position. And you can say that about most teams in this league, but at least some of those quarterbacks, they can go out there and they can take care of the football. The offensive line has to be better. Put Jackson Powers Johnson at the center position, please. But you have weapons here. Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers, Ashton Jeanty. Geno Smith just has to get his head into the game. But let me know in the comment section below how you feel about the Las Vegas Raiders and should they bench Geno Smith. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, Stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless. Peace.